The flock was 5 miles northeast of the camp, grazing out in the open. Nerva sent soldiers in all directions to ensure no one was waiting for them. Then, once he had established the area was safe, he gave the instruction for the flock to be slaughtered for food. Dismounting, he bent and studied the hoof prints in the grass, running a finger over them before looking in the direction they trailed off. Paulus Gordius rode up with his usual scowl and stopped his horse next to Nerva's. "Horses?" "Looks that way." "Unusual." The commander looked around. "They usually travel on foot, so we cannot track them." Nerva rose. Perhaps they needed to get in and out fast. Marcus rode up, and Paulus stiffened in his saddle as he approached. "What is it?" Marcus asked, pulling up his horse and jumping down to join Nerva. "You are the horse breeder," Paulus said. "What does it look like?" Nerva looked up at the commander, then down at the ground. While Marcus did not like Paulus, he was outranked by the man, and always behaved accordingly. "Well, one is a Highlander pony, the other is not." Paulus's smug expression fell just a little. "Are you seriously trying to pretend you can tell that from a hoof print?" "Yes." Marcus looked up at him. Nerva kept his eyes on the ground so Paulus would not see how much he was enjoying the moment. Different weight, size, but more obviously different gait. Paulus looked away. So what? Perhaps they were moving at different speeds. "It's possible." Nerva squinted across at him. "Is it also possible that this is one of ours?" If it was his, even better. Not only did he want his gelding back, he wanted to teach the woman who stole him a lesson. Paulus's gaze was steady on him. Exactly how many soldiers had their horses stolen by women during yesterday's battle? "Watch yourself," Nerva replied, staring at him until he looked away. The one time Nerva had ordered Paulus be disciplined for insubordination, Caracalla had come to the commander's aid. The fact that the two had been friends since childhood made him somewhat untouchable. "I'm going to take 1 century east, see where these lead." Paulus all but rolled his eyes. "That is not a lot of men if you run into trouble." Nerva mounted his horse once more. "I do not want to draw attention. I trust you can lead the rest of the men in my absence." Paulus gave a firm nod. "Of course." "Good. Furnia, you are with me. Gather the men we need." Paulus leveled Marcus with a look before swinging his horse around and riding off. "I think you hurt his feelings," Marcus said as he mounted. Nerva looked after the commander. "He has no interest in accompanying me anywhere. The man cannot wait for me to die so that he can replace me. He will be thrilled to have me out of the way for the day." "I'd like to disagree, but I'm afraid you're right. Best watch your back." Nerva's mouth lifted slightly. "That is what I have you for." Soon after, the men gathered 80 soldiers and marched east. The tracks led them back into the forest, where they rode beneath alder and willow trees, silent and watchful. A few hours later, they came across a stream, and the tracks disappeared into the water. Nerva raised a hand as he came to a stop. "Halt!" called the centurion behind him. The men stopped marching. "Can't see where they left the stream," Marcus said, looking around the bank on the other side. He glanced both ways. "Which way?" Nerva walked his mare into the water and looked both ways. He should not have been surprised that their enemy had found a way to make horses disappear. "Upstream. If their village was south, I doubt they would have gone to all that effort." He looked back in the direction they had come. "How fresh would you say those tracks are?" "Overnight. I don't think we missed them by much." Nerva nodded, then walked his horse up onto the bank on the other side. "I'm going to ride ahead and see if I pick up their tracks. You continue with the men and meet me farther up." "You're going alone?" "They will hear a group of us a mile away." Marcus glanced about. "Well, don't get too far ahead. If you run into trouble, we need to be able to hear your dying screams." Nerva smiled to himself and kicked his horse into a slow canter.